This video is a follow-up to the previous one, so you should watch that first. I want to start off by saying thank you to the amount of attention the video has gotten already. At the time of recording, it has over 35,000 views and 2.5 thousand likes, which I'm aware is not much, but for a small channel of now over 200 subscribers, that's a pretty big deal. The video itself got a lot of mixed feedback, which was a pleasant surprise. When the video started getting traction, I was expecting to get panned. But no, I got a good amount of people who agreed with me, disagreed with me, or were just in between. So thank you to everyone who watched the video, maybe enjoyed it, and even took the time to leave a comment, positive or negative. I appreciate it all. Now, there were quite a few misconceptions about my video, all of which I'll try and address here, starting with a lot of people must have gotten the impression I was trying to boycott the game and tell people not to buy it, so I want to make clear right now that you should be free to spend your money in whatever way makes you happy. And if buying this game makes you happy, then go ahead and do that. You should be free to do that. I'm just asking people to be more mindful as to what the remaster brings and if that's worth their money. Speaking of money, I got the criticisms that my video not only focused too much on the price, but also that I was looking too strongly through the lens of a PC player. With an exception of Xbox, Plants vs. Zombies is not available on modern consoles. So with that context, $20 doesn't seem that bad at first. But my main concern was the value proposition relative to what's being added, and the additional context of the value of the game lowering over time. I'd even argue that the original Plants vs. Zombies was worth $20 because there was no other Plants vs. Zombies at the time. We've seen the game drop in price on both PC and console, so the hike in price is not justified for a remaster which will probably not add much. That was easily the biggest problem people had with my video, that I assumed too much before the game is even out. And I still don't think I assumed too much, but what I did do is take things at face value in the way that they were announced and put on the Steam store. Granted, I did not touch much, if at all, on the bonus levels, but I did call the newer difficulties lackluster, because, once again, I took them at face value in the way that they were presented not only in the trailer, but also on the Steam store. That they're just a permadeath and less sun, which they might not be. But we don't know because they were just too vague on both fronts, so that's a separate problem. But once again, I took it at face value and assumed that there would be no other content awaiting to be announced. But when it comes to that, everyone can only get so speculative. And in my opinion, I don't really think that there's more content that hasn't already been announced. It's important to remember that the game is coming out in less than 3 months and is already available for pre-purchase. They're asking us to commit money now, which means this is probably their best sales pitch. Now, once again, I can only get so speculative. They might be staggering their marketing or just have some things held back by QA or platform approval. That's just something that happens in game development. It's just something nobody can be sure about, at least for now. But when it comes to versus and co-op getting an online feature in that time, absolutely not. Especially 2 months before release, that is polish time, not add online functionality time. Not to mention that big bold letters in the trailer that say local co-op and PvP pretty much screams, we don't plan on changing this. I also got the argument that Steam Remote Play and PlayStation Share Play exists, but that's not really a good argument. First off, both of those are only on 2 of the 4 platforms, and secondly, those are more workarounds more than they are features. In 2025 and for a remaster, online co-op and versus should be the standard. A problem, which I mentioned but should have emphasized a bit more in my original video, was the uninvolvement of the original Plants vs. Zombies artists. I won't go over the full situation, but it's scummy to say the least, and additionally, their artwork will not be included in the advertised concept art gallery. Now, it's already bad enough that they weren't included in the remaster, but if the AI upscale accusations are true, then that's just an even worse spit in the face. There's not enough evidence to conclude whether or not those accusations are true or false, but considering the track record, it wouldn't be surprising.
I don't think it will be great, but it won't be a disaster either. This could easily have been worse considering what the series had been doing this decade. I just think it's okay, if a little expensive.
Yeah, I think cautious optimism is a good way to approach this remaster. But personally, I'm not a huge fan of the whole it could have been worse or the at least it's something mindset. Yeah, they're both technically true, but they encourage us to lower the bar and accept mediocrity from a multi-billion-dollar company that is obviously capable of so much more. But overall, I agree, and I think that this is a good way to look at it.
Using possibly the 3 worst videos on PvZ to as evidence that the game is not well liked is a choice. Sure, it's definitely not nearly as beloved as the first game, but most of the people making those kinds of videos aren't PvZ fans. They're PvZ1 fans. And I think the opinion of the community itself matters more.
I think hated is a bit too strong of a word to describe PvZ2's reputation. That was a blunder on my part. I should have used the word bastardized. People tend to over-exaggerate the problems present with Plants vs. Zombies 2, and that's kind of shaped the mainstream narrative of the game being bad. That belief has existed since the game's release and has been said time and time again. That's the point I was trying to make. But yeah, I agree, the community's opinion does matter more. It was just important to show this mainstream and mostly negative opinion on Plants vs. Zombies 2, and that's the same reason why they decided to remake Plants vs. Zombies 1 instead of putting Plants vs. Zombies 2 on Steam, because Plants vs. Zombies 2, while not entirely hated, is not nearly as beloved as Plants vs. Zombies 1.
Devastating Dan over here.
Nah, it's still worth
Aren't you a bundle of joy?
Mr. Negative.
Mr. Negative over here.
I still think the video falls neatly into critique more than just negativity. Of course, being critical on the internet in general is always synonymous with being negative, so it's impossible to avoid when making a video like this. Regardless, I'm just more skeptical and concerned when it comes to all of this, and that's basically the whole reason why I made the video. It is not often we get new PvZ content, so I understand why people got so defensive in the comments. I'm also a Plants vs. Zombies fan, and I want the series to improve, but the only way that's ever gonna happen is if this community gets comfortable with being vocal about the problems it has. That's why the video comes off as negative, because I'm upset at the way the series is being treated.
If pre-ordering gives you a skin, then there will probably be a shop battle pass.
Oh goodness, I really hope not.
Was gonna like this video, but that outro put me off.
And then on the complete opposite side of the spectrum you have...
The zombie said to subscribe, so I did.
Beautiful, really.
Can't wait for the I was wrong about PvZ Replanted video.
Me too, I really hope I am wrong.
It's just a lazy replant.
Hold up, his writing is this fire?
The concerned pea shooter in the thumbnail. Here we go again.
I know. I hate the title and thumbnail of this video, to be honest, but sometimes you have to play the YouTube game.
At least there are no flames or graphics going up to down in the background.
Huh. That actually does look a bit better.
I think you may have a nice future as a PvZ tuber.
That is a very nice thing to say, actually. But how can I put this? I don't really plan on making Plants vs. Zombies focused content in the future. I do have one Plants vs. Zombies video idea in mind, and another which centers around PopCap as a whole. But before that, I have one video in mind which will be the next one that will be very different from these last 2 videos. Three, I guess, I have that one video. Different as in it will be a lot more research based this time, so less opinions. I do have one very funny Plants vs. Zombies video I'd like to relist, but unfortunately it's been copyright claimed a long time ago and will remain private.
My dick, shoot your cactus!
I am only comfortable with showing that much because I do not want to get claimed. Even if I show the visuals on screen, it's just not the same without the music, so I guess there's no point. So yeah, stay tuned for more videos, and if you're here for only Plants vs. Zombies content, I'm sorry. Just thank you for watching, again.
I don't claim any of this negative energy. No!